Imagine a people trapped in chains, their cries rising to the heavens. A baby hidden in a basket, floating down a river. A man fleeing his past, only to encounter God in a burning bush. This is the book of Exodus, a story of liberation, faith, and the birth of a nation. Let's journey through its pages together. The Israelites, enslaved in Egypt, cry out to God. He hears them and calls Moses, a reluctant leader, to confront Pharaoh with a bold demand, "Let my people go." But Pharaoh's heart is hard, and God sends 10 plagues to break his resistance. Each plague, water turning to blood, swarms of locusts, darkness that could be felt, targets Egypt's gods, showing Yahweh's supremacy. The final plague, the death of the firstborn, leads to the first Passover. The Israelites are spared by the blood of a lamb, marking their doors. Key takeaway is that God fights for his people. His power is greater than any earthly authority, and obedience to him brings protection and deliverance. Pharaoh finally relents, but as the Israelites leave, he changes his mind. With the Red Sea before them and Pharaoh's army behind, the people panic. But God parts the sea, allowing them to walk through on dry ground. When the Egyptians follow, the waters crash back, swallowing them whole. Moral lesson: when there seems to be no way out, God makes a way. Trust him, even when the path looks impossible. In the wilderness, the Israelites face hunger, thirst, and doubt. God provides manna from heaven, water from a rock, and victory over enemies. Yet, they grumble and complain, longing for the comfort of Egypt. Key takeaway: freedom requires faith. Grumbling blinds us to God's provision, but gratitude opens our eyes to his faithfulness. At Mount Sinai, God invites the Israelites into a covenant. He declares, "You will be my treasured possession, a kingdom of priests, a holy nation." He gives them the 10 commandments and laws to guide their lives. The people respond, "All that the Lord has spoken, we will do." Moral lesson: God desires a relationship with his people, but it requires obedience and holiness. His laws are not burdens but boundaries for our good. But the people grow impatient. While Moses is on the mountain, they make a golden calf to worship. God's anger burns, but Moses intercedes, reminding God of his promises. God forgives but disciplines them, showing both his justice and mercy. Key takeaway: idolatry breaks our relationship with God, but repentance and intercession restore it. God is both just and merciful. God instructs Moses to build a tabernacle, a portable sanctuary where he will dwell among his people. Every detail, from the Ark of the Covenant to the menorah, reflects God's holiness and his desire to be near his people. Moral lesson: God is holy, yet he desires to dwell with us. Worship is about creating space for his presence in our lives. The book of Exodus is more than a story of liberation. It's a story of God's power, his faithfulness, and his desire to be in relationship with his people. Through plagues, miracles, and covenants, God reveals himself as the ultimate deliverer. Freedom is only the beginning. The journey to the promised land requires trust, obedience, and a heart set on him. This is Exodus, a story of hope, a story of covenant, a story of God's relentless love for mankind. Please subscribe, like and share to help in spreading the gospel.